Hello, everybody, and welcome to Season 3 of Watch Out. I'm your host, Drew Pizzulo, and we're back this year with brand new episodes starting in this January 1. Sorry I'm a little late with this video. It's at the end of the month. I have been sick, unfortunately with a head cold, and I have YouTube videos on how to cure ear infections, and of course I had one recently, so I had to take a look at my own YouTube videos. But enough about that. Let's delve into the topic today I want to discuss, which is something a little different. It's going to be a hybrid. And what do I mean by a hybrid is, so often in the past, both on episodes that I've done on two shows, both my show and It's About Time in the past, we've looked into two types of watches primarily, either automatic watches or quartz watches. Little do people know there is a technology out there that combines both of them in one watch. And today I want to discuss that. And actually it is called something very simple. You can take the two names and you put them together. It is called automatic quartz or auto quartz. And what this is simply a combination of the two technologies. It actually provides a happy medium for people who don't want to change a battery, yet want an accurate timepiece that also combines the hand movement of your wrist. And you would say, well, how on earth would that happen? Well, let's take a look at what really goes on in automatic quartz. And we actually have one here for you today as an example as well. But there are three pieces to an automatic quartz, and you really find it in the back of the watch that you can tell that's an auto quartz. And three pieces that really make an auto quartz move are the pendulum, the pinion, and the gear. And all three of these work in unison. Today I have a Tissot Ballade with me. This is an auto quartz, a typical example of what Tissot makes for an auto quartz. They've had this type of model out for about 20 years. And this is a good example that you can see of the three pieces I was talking about. Okay, the pinion is the little screw over here on the top. Okay, the pendulum obviously is the pendulum that rotates back and forth as I move my hand over here, that rotates back and forth, which charges the gear over here. So as this rotates back and forth and you have it on your wrist and it goes round and round and round, what it basically does is it charges the battery. So your hand is charging the battery every time. And the battery, once it gets a full charge, it can be working up to 3 to 6 months until it winds back down. And then your hand would just have to, you put your watch back on at a later time, and bing, bam, boom, it starts charging the battery again. So it's a rechargeable battery every time. And this technology pretty much was invented, if I hear and I look at my research, basically the first ones who came out with it were Seiko. And they are still the primary producers of this movement. And you would know this movement as a kinetic energy. So this is Seiko's kinetic line that we're basically talking about with their primary technology. And the Swiss have used it in many of their models as well. And I just mentioned Tissot. Tissot came out with their auto quartz version of it back in the 90s. And you had several other brands do it as well. The Swiss company ETA, as part of the Swatch Group, did the auto quartz. And they had done them for quite some time. Through the 90s, through 2009, they pretty much put them in a lot of different brands of their watches and a lot of different watch lines through the years. And what it allows you to do is it allows you to be accurate, really not worry about, you know, the delicacies of an automatic watch in terms of cleaning, in terms of all the parts that may get disrupted or dirty or, you know, have to be overhauled, the things that you would normally worry about in an automatic watch. But at the same time, it doesn't give you the complications of a battery and the pain in the butt of always going to a jeweler to have it changed or always changing the battery on your own and, you know, it always wearing down. You don't have to worry about it. It kind of takes the two technologies and morphs them. It does have a lot fewer parts, obviously, than an automatic watch would, because basically all this pendulum is doing is circling around and charging the battery. And it's using it on the battery. So as I shake this up right now the watch is not moving, and as I shake it up, you can observe, okay, it starts ticking. So it will tick, it will not, most of these watches will not move like an automatic watch where you get that sweeping hand motion, that nice sweeping hand motion. Again, because it's a battery, you're working on a quartz movement, but your hand is winding the movement. So it's an interesting hybrid that allows a lot of people, especially Seiko, a lot of their watches are designed for, even the kinetic watches are designed for diving, they're designed for swimming, sports, so they're very durable. And it's for people who don't want to really spend a lot of money on a hybrid technology where you could say I have the best of both worlds in a sense. Now when Seiko did this, most of their watches are anywhere between, I'd say, $150 and $400 for this technology if you want to get it brand new. Other manufacturers, in terms of the Swiss manufacturers that tried this along the years, as I just mentioned with Tissot, Rado with their AccuStar line, Longines, the actual brand Swatch, Omega did it with their Seamaster Omega Matic line, Dugenta did it, Wenger, Hermes, which through their Nomad line, which I'm actually going to show you next month and do a watch review on the Nomad, because I do have that one coming in. I find that a fascinating piece. We'll do a watch review on that. Also Mito with their the Multifort line. Beauvais, a very high end that you've seen on the shows that we've done in the past in Watch Time NYC. They had a line that did it as well. Fortis did it with their Spacematic models, Bel Air, and even such high-end brands, the real expensive brands like Frank Mueller with their Transamerica, and HTO and SEMA also did it as well. So they all have different versions of the auto-quartz movement. Now, the bad thing about auto-quartz, a lot of these watch models that I just mentioned, and even Citizen, so I don't forget them as well, Citizen has several models in their auto-quartz line that do have this feature as well. The bad thing about auto-quartz is, even though some of the Japanese model, like Seiko and Citizen, are more durable, the Swiss lines are not, in terms of the durability of them. You really can't bang them around too much. You may get away with the Omegas more, maybe Mito, as I'm looking through the field right now. Wenger is known for their GST field Terragraph auto quartz. So Wenger is known for, you can beat up the watches to hell. But most of the lines are, as you can see, this is a dress line. So most of these lines, and with these brands, what they usually did is, again, these aren't cheap. Most of these lines, brand new, the auto quartz movements would cost anywhere between $500 and $1,200. The Omega Matic can run $2,200 to $2,500. Again, so it's not really cheap. Again, you're paying for the name, but at the same time, if you do have to get them fixed, it will cost you quite a pretty penny, because they aren't the most durable things, because most of them are meant for dress lines. They're not meant for sport movements like Seiko and Citizen would be. But you do have several different models with this type of technology. It really is a nice type of technology. It does give you, I mean, people always ask me, how long can it last? The first actual watch I ever got when I went to Switzerland was the Tissot PR100 AUTO-QUARTZ. And I later found out really what it was. And this was back when I was in high school. And that watch ended up lasting me, and I beat it to hell. I wore it every day. I'd say it lasted me, I got it back in 2000, probably lasted me 7-8 years. So, I mean, it does have a shelf life before it starts breaking down, especially if the pieces inside, any one of these 3 pieces, you know, especially the pinion, if the pinion comes out, or the pendulum, or any of the gears somehow come out, you're going to have a problem, because there's no way to, all of a sudden, it's like BattleBots. One part of a BattleBot breaks, there's no way for it to rectify the rest of it. And as soon as the winding mechanism breaks or detaches somehow, then there's no way to charge the battery, and the watch will eventually die, and you have to get it fixed. So you just got to make sure that you don't beat them to hell when you get them, depending on the model that you want to get, and depending on how much money you want to spend. So, again, nice technology. I'm going to be adding the Hermes to my collection very shortly. I will be doing an episode on that for next month. This way you can see what they are like, because that's a line that not a lot of people know about. Very similar to a Bulgari or a Cartier, where they are a luxury brand in terms of style. And they came out with their own watch line, and they use this technology in their watches as well. So again, guys, thanks for joining me today on going through an AUTO-QUARTZ, on what it exactly is and how you can find them. Again, you can find them all over the place on eBay. You can find them on all the major watch sites, Joma Shop, Chrono24, any. Really doesn't matter. They're all out there. I mean, the technology's still out there. They're just called something different. Just make sure it says it. Usually it'll say it on the watch itself. I know on this one, on the Ballade line, it says it right on the side, as you can see. But usually and in Seiko it'll say kinetic. So they all have their own little line due to copyright reasons. They can't copy each other on this technology. If you have any questions, please ask the salesman in the store if you're looking for the specific type of technology, because only certain models will have this technology in every brand. So, again, thanks guys for joining me. Stay tuned next month. If you have any suggestions, please drop me an email or a message, and I will gladly get back to you, as we look forward to having some new guests this year, turning a new leaf. It's a new year. Let's get rid of COVID, and watch out. Let's have another good year. I will see you guys shortly, coming up in the next month. Thanks. Have a great day.